My name is Steve Hulbert, and I'm in my 8th year as president of Nicholls State University. And a few weeks ago, I put out a call to action for the university community, for the students, faculty, and staff, to talk about the future of this university and the budget cuts that we have been facing. And since then, we have seen that piece of electronic correspondence move across this state, and I've had colleagues call me from Texas that have read a copy of it. And so the word has gotten out quite widely, and I'm appreciative of that. We've also had town hall meetings, and I have been involved with radio and television and speaking engagements in order to put the message out there. The intent at this point in time is communication. It is to let you know what's happening here at Nicholls. But I begin by saying what is happening at Nicholls is happening at every 2- and 4-year university in Louisiana. The budget cuts that have begun in 2008 are part of an adjustment to the lack of resources in Louisiana and nationwide. And we know that we had to share in those budget cuts, and we did so willingly. But those cuts started, as I said, in July of 2008, and they progressed on literally semester after semester. The amounts added up until the point in time that, as of yesterday, we were at about 28% of budget reductions, and over $10 million. Last night, or yesterday, we all learned in the news that Louisiana had a surprise shortfall in revenue of $108 million in the old fiscal year that closed June 30th. And to our surprise, what happened last night is we received another budget cut, this time $346,000. And that might seem to many of you to be a small number and a small amount, but added up with all those other cuts, and it keeps affecting what's happening here at Nicholls, and it's affecting you, the students who are in the room, and it's going to begin to affect the community in very significant ways. Therefore, we're about the process of sharing information, and we're about the process of asking you to become engaged with us in communicating. I know for a lot of people, you say, well, the region has been through budget cuts. These cuts are all necessary after the oil spill disaster, after everything else we're facing in the state. You know, Nicholls has to basically accept the reality of these cuts. Same for the rest of the 2- and 4-year universities in the state.
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
The reality, however, is our future is in the hand of state government. We can do things if we're empowered to do them to protect this university, but we need the support of state government. So this call to action is to ask your assistance to reach out to state government through our legislators, but more specifically through Governor Jindal, in order to get support for this university and other 4-year universities and the 2-year colleges to protect themselves by making decisions to keep these institutions healthy. That's the focus of this effort. I want to also begin with early comments saying what most people don't understand in this series of cuts that we've faced is Nicholls and the other 4-year universities in this state are incredibly healthy institutions. We're a university that is selective admissions. Our average ACT of incoming freshmen this year is 22.1, well above the Louisiana average, well above the national average. Our students are progressing to degree more rapidly. This is an institution that has 100% of the mandated accreditations required by the Board of Regents and a wide array of other accreditations by discipline that we don't even have to have, that reflects the strength of the program. Our students and our faculty are committed to service and volunteerism in the broader community. If you take a look at the oil spill disaster and you take a look at the research that's been done, the service that's been provided, you will find Nicholls faculty and students were engaged in every way in terms of assessing damage along the coast to working with state government and providing information. That's what we're about. We exist to serve this region. And we simply want people to know there is an impact that is going to be far-reaching, well beyond the students that are here today into the future. If we face further cuts beyond the ones that we've had, and we have cut about 8 academic programs and about 4 concentrations, we've affected about 400 students, seeing their disciplines disappear. That was an impact for those 400 students, but not for the total student body. This year, with 10% tuition increase, larger classes, fewer classes, every student is feeling it. And every student at every 4-year institution is feeling it across the state. By saying we want to speak up, we want you to be ambassadors in supporting us, we want to work together, not to ask the state for money it doesn't have, but to simply say to the state of Louisiana, to the governor and his administration, to the legislature, we need to be empowered to do some things. And some of them are not attractive things. We will have some additional reductions in services and programs here at this campus, as that will occur at every other campus. We will also have to talk about students paying for every credit hour they take. Right now, we're one of 2 states in the nation, North Carolina and Louisiana, where students only pay tuition for the first 12 credit hours. After that, the credit hours are free. 17% of our product, being classes, is given away free in this university each year. That's wonderful for the students who take those courses, but there's no business in this world that can continue to operate giving away 17% of its business. We're asking for authority to charge tuition for every credit. We're asking for authority for a differential tuition. This is hard on students, but there's a reality, folks, that when you take a class, say in English or history, the costs are very different than taking a course in some of the sciences or culinary or geomatics, which is surveying. Those courses are much more equipment intensive, or nursing that involves clinicals and equipment. There's a difference in cost, and we're saying over time students are going to have to begin to pay by those costs. That's not just here at Nicholls, that's elsewhere in Louisiana. We need to be in step with the other 48 states, bluntly. Doing that, we can pass through this difficult time, and we will be available to help this region continue to progress once we're through it. What we're facing today is going to pass. It's going to take longer than probably did in the 80s, for sure, and the damage is much more severe, but it is going to pass. And what we want to ensure is that the Nicholls of this state, the Fletchers of this state as community colleges, are strong enough that after this time passes, that we can help this region continue to grow. That's what it's all about. There are some specific comments that I want to make sure that I make to you with regard to a call to action and things that you could do. And this is for students, and this is for community members. And we're going to continue to put this out through emails and on our own webpage. We encourage you to go to www.nichols.edu and take a look at Who Cares, You Should, which is about Nicholls. Take a look at the brochures that are there. Take a look at the sample letters that are there and the specific steps that you can take to be of assistance.